The war in Ukraine is still raging. June 17th, 2026. Lyman direction, one of the most contested sectors on the front. Russian command keeps sending infantry forward, fresh soldiers, poorly trained, trying to establish new positions. Ukrainian FPV drones already dominate this sector. Every movement spotted, every position tracked, every soldier found before the position can even hold. This is what that looks like. Open terrain. A Russian soldier walking alone, carrying heavy gear, moving slower with every step. The heat had clearly worn him down. Ukraine's reconnaissance drones had already spotted him. An FPV was already on its way. Minutes later, he sees it approaching and does something strange. Sets his bag down, stands still. No attempt to run, no attempt to defend himself. He just waits. 2 Russian soldiers climbing a tree at night, thinking the height and the darkness would hide them. A Ukrainian night vision FPV drone found them anyway. Even up there was nowhere left to go. Far behind the front line, where Russia assumed it was safe, vehicles moving along supply routes, soldiers on foot, unaware they're being tracked, all targeted in the same operation, far from where anyone expects an attack. This is the part of the war most people never see. Not the front line itself, but everything feeding it. Fuel, troops, equipment, reinforcements. Cut the supply, cut the personnel, and the front starves without ever being directly attacked. That's exactly what's happening here. An FPV drone chasing a Russian soldier on a motorbike. He knows it's behind him, but the all-terrain bike isn't fast enough. A drone always outruns it. As it closes in, something becomes clear. This isn't a Russian conscript. He's an African mercenary fighting for Russia. The outcome doesn't change. The drone catches him anyway. A Russian soldier found hiding in an abandoned building, just meters away from Ukrainian positions. How long he'd been there, unknown. An FPV drone was sent in. As it entered the building, a massive explosion followed. A lone Russian soldier in open terrain, tracked for a while before the FPV drone is sent in. As it approaches, he notices it, doesn't run. Raises a hand instead, almost a wave. Maybe he mistook it for one of his own. He looked older, possibly didn't recognize the threat in time. It didn't change the outcome. The drone found its target. 2 Russian soldiers on a motorbike moving fast, unaware of what's behind them. As we've seen before, motorbikes are always an easy target for drones. The FPV closes in from behind and strikes. They never had time to realize what hit them. Southern Donetsk. Ukraine's 414th Magyar's birds spot 2 Russian soldiers during a routine patrol. The soldiers notice the drone and sprint toward a nearby abandoned building, trying to get inside. They don't make it. The FPV catches them right at the entrance. A massive explosion. They never had enough time. Kursk Oblast. Ukrainian reconnaissance drones notice unusual activity. Soldiers gathering at one location. Closer inspection reveals what it actually is. A Russian military UAV training school. Ukraine's 8th Army Corps responds with a direct strike. Direct hit. A facility training the next wave of Russian drone operators, gone before it could finish the job. A road Russian forces use regularly. FPV drones already on the ground, waiting. Hidden, silent, positioned along the route. Soldiers walk past, completely unaware. Vehicles drive through without slowing down. No one expects an attack from ground level. No radar, no warning, no reason to suspect anything is wrong. Then the drones lift off, and by the time anyone reacts, it's already too late. A compilation of strikes, all using the same tactic, all with the same result. The most dangerous ambush on this battlefield isn't always coming from the sky. Sometimes it's already waiting on the ground, right where you're walking. A second Russian Volna Kupol Garant electronic warfare system destroyed, designed to jam Starlink communications across the front. Ukrainian drone units are systematically tracking these down, one at a time. A Russian motorbike hidden inside a destroyed building, parked out of sight, out of reach, or so they thought. A Ukrainian FPV drone navigates through a gap in the wall, moves through the ruins, and finds it. Precision flying in a space most drones couldn't enter. A Russian BM-21 Grad rocket system firing on Ukrainian positions. Ukraine's 63rd Brigade spots it mid-barrage and sends an FPV drone in. One strike, direct hit. The system goes down along with the munitions it was carrying. A secondary explosion finishing the job. A Ukrainian soldier facing an incoming Russian drone. Shot after shot misses. The drone keeps closing in. At the last possible moment, point blank, he finally hits it. Helmet cam footage from a Ukrainian soldier, the front line from ground level. Two soldiers from the 24th Brigade riding an ATV back to their position, moving fast along the road. Then it happens. A Russian Molniya strike drone closes in and misses. The two soldiers keep moving. No injuries. They make it back to their position. A rare moment where the drone was the one that failed. 96 kilometers from the front line. A Russian fuel tanker, supposedly safe at that distance. Ukraine's Bulava drone proves otherwise. Direct hit. Ukrainian MiG-29s striking a Russian drone position in the north, taking out ammunition stockpiles and equipment in the same hit. A fighter jet against a drone base. No contest. A hangar Russia believed was safe, far behind the front line. Inside, military equipment, vehicles, supplies. Ukraine's Legion 33 unit, 33rd Mechanized Brigade, sent FPV drones directly through the entrance. One by one, everything inside gets struck. Vehicles, equipment, storage. This is Kupyansk direction, and distance from the front line means nothing anymore. If it fuels the Russian army, Ukraine can reach it. Ukraine's primary drone unit targeting Russian logistics across Crimea. Fuel tankers heading toward the front. Supply trucks moving along routes Russia considered secure. This is part of a broader, medium-range strike campaign. One designed to cut Crimea off from Russia's supply network entirely. Every tanker destroyed means less fuel reaching the front. Every truck stopped means fewer supplies, fewer reinforcements. The goal isn't a single strike. It's isolating an entire peninsula from the war machine feeding it. Ukrainian Raven Squad drones flying over Russian positions in dense wooded terrain. Areas where a standard FPV can't navigate through the trees, so they go above and drop munitions directly down into the canopy. The forest that was supposed to provide cover becomes the target. There is no position that's out of reach. Kozacha Lopan, Kharkiv Oblast. Multiple targets, same operation. Russian positions, drones, vehicles. Ukraine's 58th Motorised Brigade hitting all of them in the same sector, one after another. No single target, no isolated strike. A systematic clearing of everything Russia had set up here. Equipment that took time and resources to position, destroyed in minutes. Drones that were supposed to be hunting Ukrainian soldiers, destroyed before they could launch. This is what a coordinated strike on an entire position looks like. Southern Slobozhanska direction. Ukraine's Hart Brigade drone operators locating heavy Russian equipment, 2 tanks, an artillery piece, a self-propelled artillery system. All identified, all struck from the air. Every vehicle taken out removes fire support Russian infantry was counting on. No tanks, no artillery cover. Any assault planned around this equipment falls apart before it starts. Ukrainian air defense at the unit level. FPV drones intercepting Russian drones in the sky. A Lancet, 3 Shaheds, 4 Gerberas, all taken down in the same operation. 8 Russian threats, all stopped before reaching their target. Not missile systems, not radar-guided interceptors. Just drone operators hunting drones, one after another, and winning every time. Kharkiv region, Ukraine's Ghost Unit, part of the Kraken Regiment, 3rd Army Corps, clearing the area of everything Russian forces left behind. Vehicles, communication antennas, personnel, nothing left untouched. There's no hiding from this unit's drones. That's exactly the reputation they've built. This compilation is their latest sweep across the sector. What you just watched is happening every single day. Soldiers waiting, motorbikes outrun, hangars emptied, fuel tankers destroyed, nearly 100 kilometers from the front. Right now, Russia can still attack, but converting tactical gains into actual territory has become progressively more difficult. Ukraine has arrested most of the momentum behind Russia's spring offensive, and it's adding up. Crimea is now running short on fuel as Ukraine expands its attacks on Russian oil facilities. Convoys cut, tankers struck, logistics routes collapsing one strike at a time. Russia is ramping up aerial attacks on civilians while struggling on the ground. When you can't win territory, you throw more drones at cities instead. But on this front, the one you just watched, Ukraine keeps finding what Russia tries to hide. Soldiers in ruins, in the dark, on motorbikes, behind walls. None of it works anymore. The front hasn't broken, but everything feeding it is running dry. And footage like this is why. Drop a comment. How long until Crimea runs out completely?